So for the ladies who want to get married and wonder who should they marry or how they should pick their husband, the future husband, excuse me, I would say to you, pick up a Maccabee. You know, it's very hard. It's very hard. We come to Shidduchim with a lot of uncertainties, with a lot of fear. Is this going to be the right person? Is she going to be the right person? How do I know that I make a decision? I mean, you are making a huge decision in your life here. Huge decision. You don't want to marry a guy who is a bum, who is abusive, who is not compassionate. You don't want to marry a girl who is not interested in Torah and Ahavat Hashem and Derech Yisrael Rabbah. So how do we go about it? I mean, it's very, very difficult. You know, Parnasa it's never easy. Don't think it got easier now or it was harder before. It's always difficult. The struggles that we have to do, the things that we have to give up. And then you always have this pressure from people, and you say, oh, they have this and they have that, and they go on vacation and they buy this car and they buy this house and they live in this community, they live in that community, and so on and so forth. And it becomes a huge problem. So, as I said to you before, I think, and it's really more on the girls, because the girls, the ladies will make the men. I don't care how strong you are or how weak you are, your wife will make you. The key to Am Yisrael always have been and always will be the women. And we need to understand, of course, what's the woman's role in that, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of pressure on guys, because the guy, a man, regardless of how non-chauvinist you are and so on, there's always an expectation that you'll be the provider. So he needs to provide, regardless of what it is. So if you have a woman who's not on the same page with you, it's a catastrophe, is bound to happen. So what do we do? How do we pick the right guy? Many times you hear that people complain about guys who learn in kollel. This guy is a bum, this guy doesn't learn, and this guy this, and so on and so forth. Well, that's a very empty rhetoric. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Always exists. Always exists those people who are dishonest and try to make the best that they can of a situation for their own self-thing, to do as little as they can. There's always going to be people like this in any society, in any setting. However, besides the fact that it's really going to be an isur to do so, because you're not supposed to make the Torah as an instrument or a vehicle for yourself. Never use the Torah for your benefits. In other words, if you're using the Torah for self-claim, self-flame, and so on and so forth, you are really criminal. So what do? As I said to you, pick up a Maccabee. However, we know that the story of the Maccabee, of the Hashmonaim, was not so glorified to a certain extent. And they all died. Even Yehuda Maccabee, that was the most beloved Maccabee out there, eventually died in a war. It was a tremendous mourning time for Am Yisrael, because he was really beloved. And the reason for that was what the Ramban tells us, what Chazal tells us, and I'm reading the Ramban. Based on the Ramban in Parashat Vayechi, on the bracha that he gives to Yehuda, it says, וזה היה עונש החשמונאים, and that was the punishment of the Chashmonaim, שמלכו בבית שני, they ruled over the second temple. כי היו חסידי עליון, they were חסידי עליון. Now what was the punishment? The punishment was that after they won the war, they had a mandate to rule, but after the country had fallen into order, because it was a chaos. I mean, there was war going on, and there were no institutions, and there was no municipalities, and no kingdom. It was a tremendous chaos. After they reestablished order as kings, they should have had handed over the Malchut, kingship, to a designator from Shevet Yehuda, based on the bracha of Yaakov, Shelo Yasu Shevet Miben Raglav. That is always going to be the Malchut from Yehuda. And he says that was the sin of the Chashmonaim, the Ramban says. However, the Ramban calls them the following. He calls them Ki Hayu Chasidei Elyon. They were major pious people. They were righteous. Vilmalehem, and if it wasn't them, Nishtakhu HaTorah VaMitzvot MiYisrael. If it wasn't for them, we would have lost Torah and mitzvot for Am Yisrael. The war of the Yevanim, of the Greeks, and the Assyrian Greeks, was the war on the spirit of the Jewish nation. If it wasn't for them, we would have lived, but we were all being Greeks. We were eating souvlaki now instead of eating chamin. I mean, souvlaki is pretty good, but it's not kosher. They put yogurt on top of the meat. But whatever. They sacrificed their lives for what defines us. What defines us as Jews? Torah and mitzvot. That's what separates a Jew from a goy. So therefore, if Jews don't keep Torah and mitzvot, they become goyim. Period. Those people went in and sacrificed their lives, go to battle, put their lives in danger for Torah and mitzvot. So I'm going to tell you this. A guy who is interested in putting everything to the side and truly dedicate himself to learning is a modern day Maccabee. Because if I would not learn, and he would not learn, and he would not learn, who would learn? Everybody would run to make money. You think that we won the war with the Greeks? We did not win the war. We won a battle. The war is still happening. And we need the women to be able to set the priority for men of what they are looking for the sake of becoming a Chasid Elyon, to become a tremendous righteous person, to do and to act upon, to sacrifice for Torah and mitzvah. Because if it's not for us, it's for whom? You're doing so for your children. You think the fact that you keep Shabbat and Ktarat HaMishpacha and Kashrut, that's enough for your grandchildren to be Jewish? You're wrong. You're wrong, Kimosabi. You're wrong. You have to learn. And that's a tremendous zchut that will stand to you. That you and your zera after zera will be Jewish also because of your sacrifice. So when a girl wants to go, what does she want? She wants a Greek Jew an Assyrian, an assimilated, potentially Jew, or she wants a Maccabee. The war of the Maccabee was initiated by women. Women hold the key for the success of the salvation of Am Yisrael. If a man dedicated his life to his wife, and his wife says to him, I want more money, he would eventually drop everything and bring her more money. But what with Am Yisrael? We do what we need to do, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will make sure that our job will be done by others. If we don't do what we need to do, we will do other people's jobs. So ladies, maideles, beautiful Jewish girls, when you're looking for a shidduch, look for the resume, and in the resume make sure that he wants to learn seriously. Ask him on how seriously he wants to learn. Change your perspective towards guys who seriously want to learn. Check it. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that there are no fakers there. There are. But make sure that the guy that you pick is a guy that has his right machshava, a right derech, who makes the right decision for the sake of Torah and Am Yisrael. And with this, not only me, greater people than me, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself will bless you with shalom bayit, with parnasah, with children that are shomrei Torah, with harmony in home, and all the birkat hatov tavo alechem, amen, ken yeh ratzon. Rosh Chodesh Tov and Chanukah Sameach.